wasn't always the brilliant and charismatic person you see on screen right now. In fact, there was a time when I was the complete opposite. In the beginning stages of my YouTube journey, I used to find it cringy to hear my voice and watch my on-screen presence. Hell, there was a time when I just had to stop watching my videos altogether past the editing point. It was just so hard to hear myself struggle, and for some reason, I knew what the struggles were. I just had no idea how to get around them. It was just, the more I tried to fix things, the more I discovered that I was just no good at speaking to the camera. So whenever I hear people who've never done speeches or public speaking proclaim how easy it is just to be able to talk or read a paper or look at a film projector and say what's on it, I can't help but chuckle a little bit inside, because that person obviously doesn't know all that comes into play when it's finally time to get in front of people and be able to hold it together enough to deliver a message. I, for one, cannot even stand public speaking. I've done it in the past and I've gotten better at it, even though I haven't done it in a long time. I think I'm still within practice enough to pull it together to get through one, but only if I had to. So I kind of compare that same sort of anxiety with speaking in front of a camera or vlogging, as it were. I felt sort of that same feeling when I first started this video making journey as I did having to do public speaking. And I'm well aware that the two aren't really the same. 95% of the time, you're the only one present during recording. There's usually no one around you looking at you and in your mind wondering when you're gonna mess it all up. So why then did it go so bad for me, and why does it go so badly for other people in the beginning? Well, I think in the back of everybody's mind, they still feel like they're performing for someone. They're still doing that in front of an audience, even though they're just recording. You know that whatever you're doing is going to be potentially seen by lots of people, many people. So there's still some sort of performance anxiety that lives there. So believe it or not, I've been the motivating factor behind some of my friends beginning YouTube channels. And after they begin, they would come to me and be like, dude, I just look stupid, or I just sound stupid. No one's gonna like this. I seem so fake. They would ask, how do you even do it? Why does yours look so natural? And I would tell them the same thing that I'm saying right here on this video. It wasn't always that way. And some would argue that, it's still not all that great. So some of the advice that I would try to give them is, number one, know exactly what it is that you're doing. Winging it exists, but if you try winging it without experience, that's just going to constantly build up on your anxiety. And on top of that, you'll just become more and more frustrated that you can't figure it out and you just can't get it right. So you need to know exactly what it is that you're doing. Write a script. Be as detailed as possible in that script and stick to it 100%. Don't deviate. Don't ad-lib. Just do exactly what you wrote down. You can't go wrong with that, and the finished product is more likely to be exactly what it is that you wanted, because you had no pressure to wonder what goes here and what goes there. What do I say here? What do I do? What you can also do is distract yourself. Definitely don't think of this as a must do or else kind of thing. Give yourself all the time you need to do what you need to do without limits. Maybe within that time, try and occupy yourself and do something else. Most of us talk better when we're talking to someone, physically someone. So maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to actually have somebody there with you and tell them your story. Tell them your story while the camera is recording. Now, maybe over time, this probably won't be ideal, but it'll give you some kind of idea, some kind of experience and feeling of what it's like to speak your story. How do my words come out? How do I talk when I'm talking to someone? Do I say a lot of things that don't matter? From what thing did I say do I receive a reaction from that person? Just all the things. Just test it out and see how it goes. Doesn't hurt anything. Another thing you can do, which is maybe still kind of a distraction, is engage in some physical activity. Work out or something. So maybe while you're jogging and ideas come to you, you can pause a moment, hit the record button, speak your ideas, and then maybe continue jogging. When you get to a point where you can collaborate and put together all those ideas, then you can make a story, maybe script it from those ideas, and there you have it. You have everything that you really want to say ready for you to say. You know it's what you wanted to say because it came to you at a point where you weren't thinking about it, when you weren't under pressure. Again, the point of all of it is to get the practice. I think everyone should know by now that none of us are perfect, and we're all trying to do our best in our own way, the best way we can. There is no graduation to reach when it comes to speaking on camera. You get to a point where you're comfortable with it. Once you're comfortable with it, That's your graduation. That's your goal. You've reached your goal. You find a way that's conducive for you and you just constantly improve on that. I mean, on either of my channels, you'll still find me doing the mistakes that I've made even from the beginning. The ums and the ahs, I still get caught up in saying and I still get caught up in doing that. You know, it just kind of happens. And you know what? Sometimes I'll cut them out, sometimes I won't. But I don't seek to be on the levels or as good as anyone else. I just try to do the best that I can for myself. And that's what you got to do. If none of these suggestions even work for you, the last thing I can suggest is to just keep doing a bad job. Just keep at it. Keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. And eventually, what you're doing just won't be so bad anymore. Practice and more practice and even more practice. That's what it's going to take. And if it's any consolation to you, I've been at this for at least 4 years now, and I'm still practicing.